Hello everyone, welcome to Route 53 Part 2. This is our agenda. We'll see what Route 53 is, we'll see what domain registration is, difference between public and private hosted zones, and then we'll see a few routing policies, simple, weighted and latency. And then we'll conclude this part with a demo. Route 53. First of all, let me clear the air on the number 53. In our examples, we have seen that every service has a default port. For example, for HTTP, the default port is 80. For HTTPS, it's 443. For SSH, you have seen that port 22 is used as the default port. Similarly, default port for domain name system is 53. That's why the name is Route 53. Route 53 is a highly available and scalable domain name system provided by AWS. This is a familiar diagram. We have seen this in our pre-Route 53 talk. Where does Route 53 fall in this entire DNS process? This is where. Instead of other name servers, we'll be using Route 53's DNS service. Some Route 53 terminologies: domain name that user types in the address bar or URL. We have already registered a domain name in Freenom, so our domain name is aws-foundation.tk. This is our URL and this is our domain name. Then we have something called domain registry. Domain registry is the entity which provides us domain name. I have used freenom.com. You can go ahead and use Verisign or name.com or GoDaddy. All those are domain registrars. Then we have authoritative name server, which keeps the mapping between domain name and IP address. This is our domain name and this is the authoritative name server that will contain this mapping of domain name and IP address. Resource record sets are the information which are put in the name server. For example, CNAME record, alias record, ANAME record, AA name record, etc. Each one of them is put on record sets. Something like this. This is a ANAME record. The entire record is known as record set. Then we have hosted zone, which contains multiple record sets. This is our hosted zone and it can contain multiple record sets. Subdomain is a subdomain name for the main domain. For example, appleorange.com is our main domain, but fruits.appleorange.com is a subdomain of the main domain. One very important thing to note: appleorange.fruits.com would not be a subdomain of appleorange.com. To be a subdomain, the main domain should always be followed by the subdomain name. Like in this case, fruits is ahead of appleorange.com separated by a dot. Finally, we have TTL or time to live. We have already discussed TTL in our pre-talk. We have already registered a domain name. We'll use that domain name to route our traffic to an EC2 instance. Till now, we have been using the ugly public DNS name provided by AWS, right? Now, we'll use aws-foundation.tk and route our traffic to the EC2 instance using Route 53. By the way, we can get our domain name from Route 53 as well. So if you want to make Route 53 as our domain registrar, we can do that. We'll also see some more configuration parameters like NS and SOA records, the types of record sets, TTLs, etc. Let us go ahead and launch an EC2 instance. I'm using the AMI which we had created earlier, which has Apache configured in it. I have selected our VPC, AWS Foundation VPC. For security group, I'm selecting the wide open security group or the default one because I want a web server or a web page to be hosted on my EC2. The EC2 instance is up and running. As usual, I'm getting this orange web page. Now I will use our domain name aws-foundation.tk to connect to this EC2 instance. Instead of the DNS provided by AWS, we'll use aws-foundation.tk. To do that, go to Route 53, click on Services, and in the network portion, you'll find Route 53. Click on Route 53. This is the landing page of Route 53. The first thing which you have to do is create a hosted zone. The hosted zone name should be exactly same as that of your domain name. In our case, our domain name is aws-foundation.tk. So that should be our hosted zone name. And the type is a public hosted zone because we want to use this domain over the internet. You can select private hosted zone also if you want to use your domain only in VPC. Click on create. That's it. The hosted zone has been created. By default, it gives you two records. One is namespace record and the other one is SUA or start of authority record. For our domain to work, we'll have to create a record set. Click on create record set. I'll ask you for the record set name. I'll use it www.awsfoundation.tk and type should be a name. So this is what I was talking about. There are multiple types here. You have A record, C name record, MX record, AA record, PTR, SRV, etc. etc. But as of now, as we are using IPv4 address, we'll be using A name record. Keep the alias as no and here put your value. So the value would be the IP address of our EC2 instance. This is the IP address of the EC2 instance which we have just launched. Copy this IP address and paste it here. And keep the routing policy as simple. This is where we'll define your TTL or time to live. We've already talked about time to live. Click on create. Once it has been created, we'll have to make some changes in Freenom. Freenom is our domain registrar because we have bought our domain from Freenom. Go to Freenom, click on services. Of course, you have to log in first. Go to my domains. So this is our domain name, aws-foundation.tk. Click on manage domain. Click on management tools and then name servers. If you are using some other domain registrar like GoDaddy, name.com, etc., this thing can be different. Now in this page, it is asking for name servers. You know what name servers are. So Freenom would actually search these name servers for the mapping between domain name and IP address. Freenom also has its own name server, which are these, but we will not be using Freenom's name server. We need to use Route 53 name servers, which are these. Click on the name servers and copy these name servers and paste it there. Remember to remove the dot at the end, otherwise it will not work. You have to click on use custom name servers and then paste all the name servers provided by Route 53. Remember one thing, copy all the name servers which has been provided by Route 53. Do not use one or two, copy all four. And then click on change name servers. Your setup is done. Now it might take anywhere between 5 minutes to 24 hours for our domain name to get activated. We'll wait for that duration and then I'll come back and show you. If I use aws-foundation.tk, it should route me to the EC2 instance which we just created. As I said earlier, Freenom is our domain registrar. Instead of using Freenom, you can use Route 53 as the domain registrar also. I could have got this domain name from Route 53 itself. How do you do this? Click on registrar domains. Click on register domain and search for the domain name which you want to create. If you see, the domain name with .com would be $12, .net would be $11, .co.uk would be $9, etc. etc. These are the top level domains provided by AWS. Everything is chargeable, nothing is free. Now it is checking whether this domain is available or not. The moment it says available, you can go and buy this domain name. We'll not be using this because we have already bought our domain name and that is for free. Although we are using .tk instead of .com, that is fine because this is our practice session and we want it to be free. In Route 53, as I said, nothing is free. Everything is chargeable. This is how you get a domain name from Route 53 itself. So Route 53 can also work as your domain registrar. Alright, our domain has been activated. So if I type www.aws-foundation.tk, it should take me to the EC2 instance. This time, instead of using the ugly DNS name provided by AWS or the IP address, we are using our own domain name. Now you know where Route 53 comes into picture, what a domain name is, and how we put our website over to the internet using this domain name. Now let's see public and private hosted zones, almost similar to public and private subnet, but works at DNS level. Public hosted zone contains information about how traffic on the internet should be routed for a domain. NS record set or authoritative name servers for domain name. Authoritative name servers, we have already seen how to set up a domain name using Route 53. You might have noticed in the demo that AWS provides 4 name servers. We used all 4 during configuration. Initially, I told you that Route 53 is also a highly available and scalable DNS system. The reason is because of these name server record set. We'll have our domain name up and running even though one or more name server hosts failed. Not only that, the name server hosts scale automatically depending on increase or decrease in user requests. That means the name server themselves get auto scaling feature by default. Then we have SOA record or start of authority record, which contains base DNS information about the domain. We do not need to know so much about SOA, just give it one-time read, that's it. This is what you'll find in SOA record set. The first one is the host that created this record, and then the second one is the email address of the admin @replaced by dot. So basically, in this case, hostmaster@example.com, which is the admin of this host. Then we have TTL, the final one, 86400. This is the minimum TTL or time to live. Private hosted zones, on the other hand, contains information about how to route traffic for a domain within one or more VPCs. So, private hosted zones work only at VPC level. If you create a private hosted zone, you cannot use that domain name to route traffic from internet to your server. Note, to use private hosted zones, these VPC settings have to be enabled or they have to be set to true. One is enable DNS host names and then enable DNS support. We have to enable both of these for private hosted zones to work. Let me show you how do you enable these parameters in VPC using console. This is a VPC which we had created earlier. I have renamed the VPC to AWS Foundation VPC. To enable DNS support in this VPC, click on this VPC, go to Actions, and then you have two options: Edit DNS Resolution and Edit DNS Host Names. Click on Edit DNS Resolution and it has already been enabled. To enable DNS hostname, click on Edit DNS Hostnames, and to enable it, select Yes and then Save. Now we have enabled DNS support for our VPC.